Hi, everyone. My name is Monica, and a Terminator is my bodyguard. It's up to you to decide whether I'm bragging or complaining, but you should listen to my story first. My parents hired Tyson for me when I was included in the Witness Protection Program, and I was headhunted. You may wonder what I witnessed to become an enemy number one for certain people. The fact is that I don't really know what I saw. Once I got lost in a gas station. Moreover, I didn't even realize how I got there, and the only thing I tried to find was a way out. But suddenly, I heard a bang and a sound of sirens, and a helicopter began to circle over my head. I got really scared because it seemed to me that the guards of the venue noticed me, and now they were trying to catch me. At that moment, I saw a gate in front of me, and I rushed to it. There were police cars outside, and a couple of dozen people lay face down on the ground, handcuffed. Fortunately, law enforcement officers were more favorably disposed towards me. They just put me in the car and took me to the police station. They called my parents and asked them to come there. We found out that I was in the gas station while two gangs were sorting things out. After that, they began to ask me what I had seen. Not a lot. A bunch of tanks, containers, and endless labyrinths. I've been trying so hard to find a way out that even if there had been something interesting to see along my way, I simply wouldn't have noticed it. Soon they let me go, and 2 days later, my parents and I woke up because it hurt to breathe. We started coughing and our eyes were watering. We made our way to the door literally by touch, and then they started shooting at us there. It turned out that the members of one of the gangs who had been detained the day before thought I had witnessed something, and now they had to kill me right away. Death solves all problems. Well, that day they tried to get me out of the house and take me somewhere, but it turned out that the police were watching our house as well as the criminals. The police intervened in the attack on our house in time and neutralized the attackers. Awesome. I was really scared and upset since I had to fear for my life because of something I hadn't even seen. Why? What was I supposed to do? So, on the same day, the FBI officers transported me and my parents to another city, and we had bodyguards from then on. We had to live there until the trial of the gangs took place. After that, they would calm down, and I would no longer be of any importance to them. Tyson turned out to be my bodyguard. I don't know why, but sometimes he was also called the Terminator, which gave me confidence that I was safe and secure. On the whole, he wasn't like the bodyguards of my parents because he was always silent. There was never a single emotion on his face, and to tell the truth, he looked like a toy soldier. If I had believed in incredible stuff, I would have certainly thought that Tyson was some kind of robot disguised as a human being. However, Tyson was the best at what he did. He was quick, well-coordinated, he had a lightning-fast reaction. Once, he even caught a crow which suddenly decided to attack me and was aiming right at my face. How did he do that? I didn't even have time to realize what was happening. There was another incident when we were crossing the road together. A car was driving towards us at full speed when we were right in the middle of the pedestrian crossing. We were 1 foot in the grave, and Tyson managed to pull me back. Oh, he was a true hero for me. By the way, we soon found out that criminals had been trying to set up a car accident to kill me, and since they failed, they would keep on trying. But on Sundays, when he had days off, I felt less confident because my father's bodyguard was his substitute. Compared to Tyson, he seemed to be a real turtle. He moved and even talked slowly. How on earth could such a person protect anyone? I hope he could save himself in case something happened. There was less and less time left before the trial of the gang case. It would be in about a month, to be more precise. I already started to calm down, and it turned out that I shouldn't have, but Tyson didn't relax. On that day, he and I were returning home from my friend's birthday party. I even told him some story knowing that I still wouldn't get a response. When we were near the house, I noticed that a truck was driving towards us at full speed. Then it was just like a movie because like the last time, I froze and I couldn't even move. But Tyson reacted instantly and pushed me away, which made me fly 5 meters away to the side where the front garden was breaking through its fence. Tyson didn't have time to save himself. I took my phone out right away. I wanted to call my parents and ask them to call the police, but then something appeared in front of me. It was Tyson, who went full bat towards me and then grabbed me by the hand and took me home. He was bruised and all the skin on half his face was peeled off, and there was some kind of mechanism under it, while there was neither blood nor flesh. I was shocked again because I didn't understand what all this meant. Although it was obvious that Tyson wasn't a human being because a multi-ton truck drove right through him a few minutes ago. And if he were a real person, there would be no way he could have survived. But I still didn't understand who he was. He took me home and the police arrived. They saw Tyson's peeled skin and were shocked no less than I was. They even pointed their guns at him. Well, they shouldn't have done that. In just 2 seconds, my bodyguard knocked the guns out of their hands and covered me, pressing me against the wall. The fourth policeman fired right away, and the bullet struck Tyson's head. If you can call it a head, because we heard the bullet ricochet away from the metal. I think Tyson didn't even notice it. It took him literally a second to get to the shooter, take his gun, and turn it into a donut with a subtle movement of his hand. I don't know how it would have ended if the FBI agents hadn't arrived right then, and they simply turned off Tyson with some kind of remote control. He fell down, making a shutdown sound, and stopped showing signs of life. After that, we went to the police station all together. The FBI agent said that Tyson had been programmed specifically to protect me, and he had been doing an excellent job. Until the truck appeared and the secret of the Terminator bodyguard was revealed. After that, they reminded me that I would need protection for another month and that my parents and I would be able to get back to our normal life unless the trial was rescheduled. In the meantime, all the witnesses had to sign a gag order, which meant that we mustn't disclose information we had heard within the walls of that office. Then they let us go. I was taken home along with a new temporary bodyguard. They told me that Tyson would be back in a couple days after they fixed him, and they forbade me to go outdoors until he was back. When Tyson returned, I was extremely happy, but he wasn't the same anymore because he was taught to speak. It didn't sound like an ordinary person speaking. He talked like a robot from a movie. He said he wouldn't let anybody hurt me, and he was there to protect me. I was pleased to hear that, although I realized that he was programmed to say those words, and they had nothing to do with feelings, which he didn't have. Soon, Tyson and I survived another assassination attempt, and he heroically defended me as usual. A couple of days after the trial, I was informed that everything was over and I no longer needed protection. I felt extremely sad about the fact that I would have to part with Tyson, but I understood that it was inevitable. Do you believe that there are real Terminators among us? Give your answers in the comments.